In this video, we're going to look at two more problems from page 176 homework, number 43 and number 45. They're in the same section, but they actually are a little bit different in terms of the approach. So number 43, I'm going to just use exponent rules. The problem says x to the 1/4 times x to the 1/3, and the instructions say to simplify the expression. So we are simplifying this. Simplify. And I am going to use exponent rules here. My bases are the same. Bases are the same. They're both x's, right? X and an x. So since the bases are the same and I'm multiplying, right? X to the 1/4 times x to the 1/3. That means I can add the exponents. So I'm really going to be going x to the 1/4 plus 1/3 power. All right, now I'm adding fractions, so I have to remember some things about fractions. And when I'm adding fractions, I need a common denominator. Common denominator. And if I'm looking at the 1/4 and the 1/3, I'm thinking my common denominator is going to be 12. And I'm just getting that by going 4 times 3. So let's change the 1/4 to 12ths. And change the 1/3 to 12ths. That's right underneath. How about that? Yeah. So what do I have to multiply 1/4 by to get to 12? I have to multiply that by 3. And if I multiply the bottom by 3, I multiply the top by 3. So 1 times 3 is 3, and I've changed 1/4 to 3/12. I'm going to change 1/3 into 12ths, so I'll multiply 3 times 4. If I multiply the bottom by 4, I have to multiply the top by 4. 1 times 4 is 4, and I've changed 1/3 into 4/12. Now that I have changed the two fractions into something that have common denominators, let me move these down a little bit. Give them a little space. So this becomes, 3/12, and this becomes 4/12. Now that I have a common denominator, I can add the tops, add the numerators. The bottoms are going to stay the same. Bottom, stay. So 3/12 plus 4/12 becomes 7/12, and that's going to be my exponent. So that's what I am going to write right up here. My final answer is x to the 7/12. So there is number 43. Now let's take a look at number 45. 45 needs a little bit different approach. Number 45 asks me to find the 4th root of 81 times x to the 4th. And once again, I'm simplifying. But I'm not multiplying anything here. I'm just trying to take the 4th root of something. And when I'm taking the 4th root of something, so when I'm doing that, what I'm really doing is looking for groups of 4. So if I'm looking for the 4th root, or some people would say the index is 4, that means that what I want groups of 4. If I were taking the square root of something, I would want groups of 2. If I were taking the cube root of something, I would want groups of 3. But in our case, I am taking the 4th root, which means I want groups of 4. All right, let's break down 81 and x to the 4th and see how many groups of 4 I can come up with. So I'll bring this over here. So 81, if I split that up into something times something, well, I know it's 9 times 9. Well, that's two things, but I need groups of 4. I could split up the 9s, however, into 3 times 3. And there we go. There's one group of 4 right there. Now let's look at the x to the 4th. So x to the 4th, well, that's really x times x times x times x. So I have another group of 4 x's, and then I don't have anything left over, right? I've taken care of the 81 and the x to the 4th. So I'm going to now rewrite this. Bring my problem down. So the 4th root of 81x to the 4th. That is going to become 3x. And that's my answer. There's another way to think about this problem, and that would be to rewrite the root as something with exponents, a fractional exponent. So I'd like to show you that way as well. Either way is going to work with this. So let's start off with our problem back at the beginning, the 4th root of 81 times x to the 4th. And let's rewrite that with fractional exponents. So I could rewrite that as 81 times x to the 4th to the 1/4 power. Once I've done that, I can pass that 1/4 power inside the parentheses, my sort of faux distributing, which becomes 81 to the 1/4 power times x to the 4th times the 1/4 power, right? Because you're multiplying the 1/4 times 1 and the 1/4 times 4. You're multiplying it by both exponents. And then the x to the 4th times 1/4. So that would be 4 times 1/4. Let's see, 4 over 1 times 1 over 4 is 4 over 4, or just 1. So this becomes x to the 1st. And 81 to the 1/4 power. And then I kind of do that same process again. I want to split up 81 into something where I can get groups of 4, a group of 4 of something. And when I do that, I'm still going to get 9 times 9 and 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And there's my group of 4. So my answer is going to end up being exactly the same, 3 times x. Yay. So either way you want to think about it, both will work.